4040 here with another ship's roster review. Today I'm going to be looking at Caveman ships from Broken Legion. So, looking over at Caveman's roster overall for ships, it looks fantastic and he has quite a good few options. However, there are some spots he's lacking that I think keeps him from being able to run some meta fleets. Though let's take a look into what I generally do first and do what I would say is a suggested fleet for the moment. Now I have two options here, which is simply because you currently have Sunfact's ship underdeveloped because Sunfact is under-geared, so you're going to want to gear up Sunfact. So my two options are either the first option is going to be the meta of Chimera, TIE Advanced, and Biggs as your starting two ships, with either TIE Fighter or Ghost, probably TIE Fighter, since you have it more developed. However, the other option is going to be Executrix, or if you really want Chimera or Home One, preferably Executrix, with Geonosian Soldier, Geonosian Spy, and Houndstooth, which I would guess you may already be running since you have a 7-star Gear 12 Boss and a 4-star Houndstooth. Those would all be good options. The one thing that's lacking about the second team is the fact that your Sunfact is under-geared, means that you might not want to put him on as a reinforcement currently, and having Sunfact at least as your first reinforcement would really help in bringing in that Geo synergy and getting more of those attacks out. So I'm not sure how good this team is without Sunfact, but it is a common starter to have Houndstooth and the Geo Soldier and Geo Spy, and that would probably be more meta still than the other team. I just don't know how good it is with leaving Sunfact out of the equation as your first reinforcement. But feel free to try it out and see how that works for you. Overall, for now, let's look at some potential good reinforcements for you to bring in. The first one is going to be Phantom 2 here, which you have maximum impact and covert strike maxed out, which is excellent. That definitely is going to help you out, and you have the basic max 2 to give you some more damage there. So Phantom 2 is generally a really good first reinforcement to bring in, because then you can immediately bring in another reinforcement on the next turn. Some other good reinforcements you have ready are Slave 1. Slave 1 is also a just decent overall reinforcement. It's basically a plug-and-play reinforcement. It taunts, it does things. Scimitar is a good reinforcement, though for the second team I suggest it won't be as good. You more want to use Scimitar, at least I do, in pairing with the Imperial TIE Fighter, because it puts a nice false taunt and gives it some more protection. Hopefully Imperial TIE Fighter will dodge some attacks. It can also be annoying when paired with TIE Advanced. So you kind of want to think about, is there a good fleet ship in this fleet to put a false taunt on? If not, leave Scimitar out. But Slave 1, Phantom 2, you can get it up for the Geo team with Houndstooth, Sunfact, and make 3 great reinforcements. And then a 4th great reinforcement for the Geos team, I generally bring in as my second reinforcement, is TIE Advanced here, which means you're going to want to max out Unnerving Presence. And TIE Advanced makes an excellent reinforcement. I use it all the time, and it really hurts. So you might want to look into doing that. You have lots of other good options here for reinforcements too. Cassian's U-Wing, TIE Reaper, all make good reinforcements. And so essentially just I would look at those and see what works for you. The one I would highest suggest is Phantom 2, TIE Advanced. If you go the Geo route, Sunfact, and Slave 1. All I think are good overall reinforcements, so you can plug and play them based on when you think you'll need them. Poe Dameron can also be good for taking out TIE fighters, so that's good to note. Now, since I think overall your fleet is really good, I just want to suggest some other ships that overall for plug and play are fantastic, and just look at some downsides of some things I have suggested so far. So Phantom 2 right here. Sabine is not fully geared up. If you gear her up, max out sights lock here, that'd probably help you out a bit and hopefully get more damage on the ship overall. I don't see a negative to increasing distraction tax here. It gives you a little bit more invasion, which is nice. So just overall gearing Sabine a little bit more would be great to help you hopefully get more damage and speed on the ship, as overall gear of a pilot does go towards helping the overall gear of the overall stats of a ship. Um, Next big thing was Sun Fac. I think having the other two geos up and not having Sun Fac up makes logically no sense, because you generally want to use all three of the geos together. On top of that, Sun Fac's a really good tank for ships, so getting Sun Fac up just so you can use them elsewhere in ships, and he makes a good reinforcement if you really want to with a repulsor array protocol here, and can be really annoying. Anything you're using as reinforcements is going to be worthwhile to max out the reinforcement abilities. So just keep that in mind. The next thing is Ghost. Ghost is a really good ship. It works with one of the other meta fleets, which I haven't suggested to you simply because Xanadu Blood isn't meta yet. But if you wanted to run, I think it is Chimera Executrix with Xanadu Blood, uh, Houndstooth, and Ghost, with Phantom 2 and some other ships as reinforcements. That also makes an excellent fleet. However, these three characters here, Hera, Kanan, and Zeb, are not well geared yet, so I would gear them up to at least gear 11, because the Ghost can also make a decent reinforcement when paired alongside Phantom. The other big glaring ship that stuck out to me that you didn't have up yet was, where is it? Biston Jewing. Biston Jewing is very much a better version of TIE Advance. It automatically hits. I haven't personally been able to use this ship myself because I haven't developed out these characters, but it's commonly used in a replacement of TIE Advance to be an even better ship, partially because it can stealth itself compared to TIE Advance, which can't, which is why in some fleets Ghost is used to stealth TIE Advance. So gearing up Scarefront, Pathfinder, and Biston could prove very, very beneficial to you to have that other option if you're like, oh, I want to put TIE Advanced here but can't. And overall, this should hopefully help you in like territory battles and territory wars to just have some better fleet options and messing around that you can do, and also give you another ship that you can use in case of changes to the meta that you can test out in new fleets. I believe it also makes a good reinforcement, but I'm not sure. Again, I think you have more well-developed fleet at this moment than I do, and I'm a free-to-play player, so I haven't gone all out on some of these things. Like, I haven't used the Houndstooth yet. Hopefully going to start farming it soon. But I do know, based off just a lot of videos I've seen, that Biston Jewing works really well as a replacement for TIE Advance. So it is definitely helpful to have. Another thing to think about, Xanadu Blood and Anakin's ETA, both good ships. They just aren't free to play farmable yet, but I see you've been working on those pilots both, so good. Just keep that in mind. There's another ship that I saw a minute ago that stuck out to me for you potentially looking to farming. Oh yeah, Lando's Millennium Falcon. This can make a really good fourth reinforcement here because of all in. Not that you getting to fourth reinforcements often doesn't happen. But if you do get there, it takes a bonus turn for every previous reinforcement called. So that means it's getting 3 bonus turns if it gets to that point. So just you can think about developing that out. And both of these, like L337, has some uses in territory wars on a Kira team. So that's just good to keep in mind. Now, when it comes down to developing your capital ships, the main thing I was noticing here were the abilities for the capital ships. And like, you didn't have fierce loyalty maxed out, and you didn't have victory at all costs maxed out. These are what are considered the unique abilities for these ships, or leadership abilities. Some are leaders in normal fleet, so it's really useful to have these sort of maxed out. The equivalent of this on Home 1 is Band Together, and on Endurance is Honor and Might. Maxing those out when you're working on the capital ship is often the first thing you want to do. On top of that, I was noticing, I don't know which capital ship you plan on using. Alva I've suggested, but I would go probably with Executrix, and if so, I would just work on maxing out all of its abilities immediately. It's better to be able to get that more damage out, especially victory at all costs, giving more offense to your side, and even turn meter when ships are destroyed. It's really nice to have that. As I said, you want to, these basically leadership abilities are the first thing you're going to want to max out. One of the last things you'll probably want to max completely out on these ships is often going to be the basic attack, because you should almost never be using it, because you should always be calling in a reinforcement or using one of the special abilities if you can. And the second to last thing would probably be Imperial Assault. You want to do heavy ion cannon so you can get the extra damage output, and you want to do this so that you can get the defense penetration up and extra turn meter gain on your ships. That's why you would do Executive Order and heavy ion cannon. Chimera, same sort of deal here. Fierce Loyalty is first thing you'll want to max out. Art of War, Phylon Beam are both great. Calculated Strike, probably the last thing. Strategic Dominance, second to last. The ultimates often are second to last simply because they're just so overpowered anyway, as long as you put a little bit of work into them, that it's not going to make much of a difference to completely max it out. But because there's no need to be focusing on trying to 7-star Chimera, I just would work on maxing out the abilities on ones that you currently have incomplete. So I hope that helps with those Unreal. So again, I think overall for fleets, you're looking pretty good. I personally, if I were you, would probably do Executrix with Geo Soldier, Geo Spy, and Hound's Tooth, and then a reinforcement of Phantom 2, Slave, TIE Advance, Slave 1, and then either TIE Reaper or Sunfac. But you do need to gear up your Sunfac if you're going to do that. I suggest gearing up your Sabine some more as well, and 7-starring your Houndstooth, which I'm sure you're working on now that it's free to play, or should be working on as soon as you get the opportunity. Then I would max out the abilities on the Executrix, and just for some overall passive farms or things to work on, Biston Jewwing, the Ghost, Lando's Millennium Falcon, and was there anything else? Those 3 should all be really good passive farms for ships to help out and just give you more options. I hope this helped give you a good direction to go, Caveman. Your review was a little bit hard for me because think to some extent your fleet's a little bit beyond where I am based off what you have maxed out and what I've been able to actually personally get my hands on. But I do hope this helps. Talk to you later. If you have any questions, message me in Discord. Bye.